That's what I like. You can see the silhouette a little bit, right? The silhouette of my face is slightly visible, and that little red dot is because we're already filming a video. So what you're gonna do next is like this. Look, I pass my hand, okay? I'm well centered there. So, in this way, I could record a spectacular video, which is something I really like about this phone. Welcome to a new video. How's it going? How are y'all doing? I hope you're doing very well. On this occasion, I'm here to present the Nothing Phone 4a Pro, which this version, of course, comes very powerful with a Snapdragon processor, a brutal camera that can reach up to 140x, and not only that, glyph lights that are on another level. So let's check it out. Meanwhile, this one comes with 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of internal storage. Yeah, that's how they send it to me. I'll leave the price rec here. It might be a little cheaper or a little more expensive in your country. That's just for reference. And that's it. Here, we'll find some text entirely in English. You can read it carefully, but I'm gonna skip ahead. Look, what's in the box? Wow. It comes with everything, guys. And something curious is that we're gonna find this tool to take out the SIM tray. And this one is like made of glass. Curious, right? It's like it's a car fuse. That's how I see it. Then, over here, we're gonna find that it comes, for example, with its totally transparent protective case. It looks nice, right? Transparent. We also have its user manual. Not bad. Its respective USB Type-C cable on both ends, and we'll leave it at that. Then, over here comes our beauty of a phone. Check it out, please. What a beauty! How good looking! Seriously, those LED lights look incredible! We have a weight of 210 grams, more or less 7.41 ounces, a thickness of 8 millimeters. We have IP65 resistance, only to water splashes and dust. Please, don't go submerging it. We also have, for example, here it's aluminum. Yes, in everything, both in its chassis and also here on the back. When you're gaming, you're definitely going to feel some heat, but that's going to be normal. We're going to do a gaming test. We also have a triple button here. The power button, volume up, volume down, and lines, right? The sides are going to convert it to be able to have a better signal. These aren't LED lights here. This line is simply for the signal. And that's it. We have another button over here that will serve as a direct shortcut to Essential. This is artificial intelligence. This other button is to open the camera. Well, before we go look at those buttons, let's see what its screen is like. First of all, let's talk about its unlocking process. We have two. The first one is unlocking via fingerprint. We also have facial unlocking, and it works quickly. We also have protection here on the screen, which is Corning Gorilla Glass 7i. Totally non-existent bezels, both at the top and at the bottom. It's an AMOLED screen with a 6.83-inch diagonal and a refresh rate that, wow, you're really gonna love this. Check it out, please. We're gonna go here to the refresh rate, and it has 144 Hz. Wow, so that's quite a lot, with a pretty good brightness too, of up to 500 nits, according to them. Look, that's actually quite a lot. It has 5,000 nits of peak brightness. At first I said 500, but no, 5,000. That's plenty. Enough to see it, even in very bright conditions, especially under direct sunlight. Although we can set it to dynamic, it will work from 120 or 144 down to 1 to save a bit of energy. And that's great, guys, because we have HDR10 content here on this screen, so we'll be able to see even deeper blacks. A really nice screen. I like how rounded it is. So let's go with a sound test next, taking advantage of this. The screen is very good, the sound does the job, and it's quite loud. The thing I've had a bit of, I don't like, seriously, this button. Sometimes I get confused when I'm touching it, the second button, because it has two buttons. Look, how many buttons does it have? This one, which is going to be the power button, well, if we hold this one down long enough, we're going to talk about Google Gemini, although we also have Circle to Search, artificial intelligence via ChatGPT, which we'll see in a moment. But this little button is confusing sometimes, seriously. But this is the essential one, which we can hold down and record a voice note pretty quickly. We can press it twice and take live notes, a memo, we can continue like that. There's internal memory here. There are other little things here that tell us what to do from nothing. Look, everything we can have here are the screenshots we have. Okay, I've got it ready here, and in the meantime, we're also going to use, what is it, SIM tray. This is a factory unlocked dual SIM, but also, if I remember correctly, we're going to put an eSIM here. It also offers us the configuration to be able to add an electronic eSIM, and that's pretty good on Nothing's part. Also, regarding connected devices, we have NFC for making payments, casting the screen via a smart TV, Chromebook, QuickShare, Android Auto, OTG, and also regarding audio. Look at this. aptX. Whoa! HD. I mean, there's still a lot of volume in terms of audio, and we also have an audio profile. We'll see this later in a gaming test. Before we move on to the processor, of course, we have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 7 General 4. Here we also have Nothing 4.1 in terms of its software, based on Android 16 on board, which, by the way, is very up to date. Its operating system is similar to that of a Pixel. Literally, guys. I'm going to turn the brightness down a little bit. Look how nice it is. We have QuickShare, we have everything. I really like the look of this. The interface that Nothing includes, it's a phone that doesn't have any kind of third-party apps, and I like that a lot. Really a lot. The battery is 5080 milliamp hours. Here we have the information. Just as we can also expand the RAM a little bit. Here, we can already extend it by 2 more. That's good. 256 in terms of its storage. Here we have the 6.83 flexible AMOLED screen. And now, let's get to the core of the Glyph interface. Look, here we can see our schedule, basically, but there are other things we can see besides that. Check this out. We have notifications. Yes, we do. We have essential notifications for calls, alerts, yes. We also have flip to Glyph, mute ringtone, mute only the essential notification. Always on in games. Watch out. Let's see if it's true. We have the clock, the battery, solar path, moon phase. This is what it gives us here in the Glyph effect. But there's another interesting detail, which I'm going to show you right now. Besides that, we also have a caller ID display, charging meter. It shows how it fills up. The charging meter. Let's see if I have a charger here. No, I don't have it on hand, but it does show us how it measures the charge. It fills up completely, literally. It's a circle. Then we have Glyph progress. Look, we also have it like this. It's a progress bar. There are a ton of things we can do with the Glyph effect. We can even set a schedule so it doesn't turn on if you don't want to see it anymore. Well, and here is the Smart Tools kit. This is Essential Space, as we already saw with this button. Essential key settings. Look, when the screen is off or blocked, pressing it won't have an effect when the screen... that's fine. Enable single tap before using. That's good. And we also have Essential Voice, Wallpaper Studio, Notification Widget. Well, news, it says Essential. I'm not going to use it. ChatGPT widget. Yeah, this ChatGPT widget, why do we have it here? Because precisely, if you buy headphones from the same brand, it includes the ability to communicate with ChatGPT directly from the headphones themselves, because they work together. And we've seen that when I've done unboxings of those same headphones, which I've already tested, and it works very well. When it's a paid product, well, this kind of thing has to be involved. Interaction with ChatGPT. Look, there it is. Screenshots with edits at a single touch. It's just that there's a collaboration more than anything, in a nutshell, and here with ChatGPT. Lock screen. We have this lock screen feature. My people, I really like it, because when we double tap the screen, well, it turns off. Look, we double tap, it turns back on, and I really like that. The customization it has, nothing, is a really nice skin, seriously. I really like this phone, I don't know why. It really catches my attention, especially special features, RAM extension, pop-up view, game mode. And in game mode, we can also see what would be the FPS in real time. I like that quite a bit. Gestures, RAM extension, which we've already seen. Look, here's another section where we can increase the RAM by 8 more. These are little things that nobody else was going to show you. We also have pop-up view. The gestures, here we can switch between navigation and the 3 circles we have here, that is, the 3 buttons, well, the traditional ones, and I don't just set it to gestures. And there I have it. Glyph Effect says flip. Look, the same thing again. There it is. When you have it, you'll definitely be explored it little by little. I'm showing it to you quickly like this so you can see it. This way, the updates are constant, right? Android 17's coming, it's just around the corner. That's what all this is for. And now let's move on to the section regarding its processor, which we mentioned earlier has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 7 Gen 4 with the Adreno 722 GPU. I already installed a game on it, my people, and what I like about this section is that you can actually see the FPS in real time. Look, there are the FPS in real time. That's why you should subscribe, because I'm gonna do a gaming test later on. I can swipe here, look. Ooh, how nice. We have performance mode. Ah, how nice. I love this. Frame rate lock. I hadn't seen this before, right? Look how cool. I mean, it offers us other little things. We tap here. This is game mode. Look, the minimal touch error prevention. Color of the game plugin. Game panel, it says. Okay, floating game icon. Do not disturb for games. That's nice. Nice. And I like it quite a bit. How can we go here in Call of Duty? Well, in this way. We're going to see this later on. It runs on Ultra here, and in DMZ it runs on Ultra 2, and in VR mode it's also going to run on Ultra. And this is all I can show you because we're going to do a gaming test later on. What else can I show you around here? Well, just this. There is no universal remote control. It's just like this. Here we have other little things like this. Look, this is where I wanted to show you that we have a retro future color of 48 millimeters, it says. This is from the photographs, 28, 24, 8, amber. They're like colors, right? These are little things that nothing has added, which we'll do at the end of a review. This is an unboxing where we're getting to know all its features and specifications in depth. And there we had it. Now, let's move on to the camera section, because look, this really works well here too. The main camera is 50 megapixels. It's surely this great sensor with OIS technology and PDAF autofocus. No, it doesn't sound like rocks. This one really doesn't sound like rocks. We also have another 50 megapixel periscope sensor that has a 3.5 times optical zoom and up to 140 times zoom, believe it or not. We also have another one that is 8 megapixels. It's this tiny one right here, which will have, well, 120 degrees of, well, like an ultra-wide angle. And we also have a selfie camera. This one is 32 megapixels. Now for the really good stuff. Let's take this off. We have portrait mode. Look at how it takes the portrait mode photo. You too. Oh, that's so pretty. I really want to see this, guys. We can also take photos at 3.5x optical, and this is where the magic happens. Look. How beautiful. Since we have an optical zoom here, let's set it to 1x. Look. It frames our face right here, literally, if we want to take a photo of ourselves alone. This is what creates the effect, right? We can tell it no here, we can tell it yes, and it can only reach up to there. In photography, likewise, ultra-wide mode at 1x, the Glyph effect only works there. Automatic HDR, we can change the format. Mirror, Glyph 2. Okay, I'm going to set it like this, in ultra-wide mode. Ah, look at this. Look, well, we also have it here, in 3.5 times optical. It also detects that it's macro mode. That's good. It does it via software. And the important thing here is that it reaches 140x. According to Nothing, it's the first in the world to include zoom up to 140x. If you notice, when we have zoom over here, 120, well, 140x, redundancy aside, we have an artificial intelligence icon here. because it's going to detect how to interpret colors at long distances. Well, they do it with artificial intelligence. 140x is exaggerated, seriously. Also, photography here. Oh, we also have this. Oh, how nice. We also have HDR, right? Motion, grid, and here are the filters. And regarding video recording, it also includes 4K at 60 frames per second here. We can also record in HDR. It also includes the Glyph effect here. We lower this, and if I want to record a video at 3.5K, that's fine, and it would reach 20 times zoom. If I set it to 1080p, 60 frames per second, or 30, let's see if it goes a bit further. Same measurement. If we swipe up, we have effects here. Look. I think the same as in photography, right? So if I were to record a video, what it's going to do is the following. Look, that's what I like. You can see the silhouette a little bit, right? The silhouette of my face, it's slightly visible. And that little red dot is because we are already filming a video. So what you're going to do next is like this. Look, I pass my hand, okay? I'm well centered there. So in this way, I could record a spectacular video, which is something I really like about this phone, that it has that Glyph effect so that we can improve our videos like this. In selfie camera, only at 1080 at 30 frames per second, there is no 4K. In more we have night mode, slow motion, time-lapse, panoramic, and also expert. Here I can modify ISO interval, white balance. Let's see if we can have RAW mode here too. Video recording? There isn't. Apparently there is no expert mode in video recording. And that is what this Nothing Phone 4a offers us. Well, done. I finished with the review of this device. It doesn't have for HDMI, no. Yes, I really like the design. I liked it. My first impressions are this, the Glyph effect. It helps a ton for making a good video, a photograph, and it helps a ton for notifications. I like that quite a bit, and I think it would give it, well, a plus for when we do the respective gaming test. And finally, the final review. What did you think of this phone? It took us a little while, but we got to know in depth what this device can do and how it can help you. If you liked it, please give me your powerful like and also your succulent subscription. Many thanks to our friends at Fonz in Guatemala. This is the price. It's a reference. It could be more expensive or cheaper in your country. So we'll see you in the next video, especially in the gaming test, and finally in the final review. Take care.